Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Community Hotline for the community, by the community. I'm your host, Bob Fang. And today we got Mr. Zainuddin. Why don't you introduce yourself, bro?
Hello, guys. What's up? What's up, everyone? My name is Bai Zainuddin, and yeah, I'm basically international graduate student, and yeah, I would like to share my personal experience with you guys.
Okay, I love it. Let's start off heavy topic, heavy. What are top three defining moments in your life, and how did they
Def-
impact?
Defining moments.
Yeah, top three most important moments in your life that changed you forever.
The most important thing that changed me. The first thing is 100% education. I would say because before this, I don't really get like a proper education before. I kind of need to start struggling to get like a, like pre-certificate before I jump into a proper certificate. So it's kind of like I need to extend for like 6 months or something like that. Yeah. So the first one will be education, and the second one I would say, yeah, it's very heavy, but I would say religion in my case, since I met so many people like around Europe, like with different religion, different belief, different perspective, and that changed me the perspective of religion, to be honest. So that one, yeah, one education, religion, and one more will be, I would say, yeah, money. I would say in a way, but not that much. I would say like for money, in terms of getting the money is not that much, but more on the valuing the money, if you get what I mean. Because back then I kind of like just use the money without really think about it. And then now I come to my consciousness. I thought like, oh, I think I should like prepare properly on my management, like money management wise. So yeah, I would say education, religion, and money.
Okay,
That really changed my kind of like perspective,
I love
and
that.
also traveling. I would say
Traveling.
that definitely traveling,
Do you think a
because
lot of do you think a lot of Malaysians travel outside of Malaysia? Or you,
uh, not that much, to be honest. Yeah, because to be honest, when I ask them to like travel and stuff, they always say like, oh yeah, money is the one of the cause that they cannot travel and everything. And I was like, yeah, why not you start for small one, go to the neighbors countries, like Indonesia, Thailand, all the Southeast Asia country. And they at first they say like, oh, okay, I want to go there, but I don't have money, but I would love to go like, how to say, like, I would love to go like so many countries. And I'm thinking like, yeah, how are you gonna achieve that? So that's where I started to, like spend saving money, investing, because for me it's kind of like I want to be like a financial freedom as a person. So I don't want to get how to say it, like get in touch, really in touch with the all this system that much. So yeah, that's probably it.
okay. When you mentioned religion, so
Hmm.
you have a specific experience or moment when you were in Europe that changed
Yeah,
your look?
to be honest, all my friends over there are uh, Islamophobic, I would say. Like before this, they kind of like they don't have any Muslim friends. So their perspective of Islam and everything is very different, and I kind of understand it because it's a Western perspective. But when I go there and I'm chilling with them and stuff, they don't even know that I'm Muslim for 2 or 3 years. And then after that, they knew, they will be like, "Oh, what? Baim, are you Muslim?" and everything. I was like, "Yeah, I'm Muslim." Like, why? Because like, yeah, I never met a Muslim like really chill, because I thought Muslim is going to be violent, all the values and everything. And I was like, "Oh, no, bro, but you've been chilling with me like for 3 years. Am I being violent and stuff?" And then they were like, "No, but I never thought that you're Muslim." So, and then I said to them like, yeah, what, like, what do you see as a Muslim? So they say like, okay, mostly they've been portrayed as the like the Western propaganda. So they say like the all these terrorists and all this Muslim perspective and everything is just on the media. They say because they don't really know a person that been into that religion, for example. So when I told them that I'm a Muslim, they start to asking question about Muslims, about Islam and everything. So which is for me is also good because some of the question that I cannot answer, it makes me want to study more about my religion, if you get what I mean. So
Mm,
especially like because my friend over there, some of them are atheists and some of them are agnostic. So they have two different perspectives. So for me as a believer, I also have my own perspective. So whenever we chill, we always kind of like discuss about things really random, for example, like aliens, for example, So we just want to get the perspective from the believer, the non-believer, and also the neutral believer. So from there, and I was like, oh, okay, it's very interesting because I never have this perspective because mainly when I in Malaysia, majority are Muslim, so they don't have any perspective like outside of the box, for example. So from there, I start to kind of like understand that how they portray how to say no how they portray how they see what Islam or Muslim perspective, and then since and then and then I met a guy that literally study about Arabic literature and really study about, for example, like is from Islam scholar that I know, but I never studied about it before. So when he asked me question, some things like very very deep question, and I cannot answer it, and from there it makes me think, like is am I gonna find the right answer? So I started to travel and then travel to, for example, like Spain, like Greece. I want to see like the world, like how the world view Islam and everything. So I went to like the historical place. I think somewhere in Greece, the Athens, if I'm not mistaken. So the Athens is very interesting because I thought the Western perspective and the religion perspective is just too broad and they're not connected. But when I travel and I meet people and I see all the historical place, it makes me think like it's actually all connected because, for example, like in Athens, I went there. The place the place itself is been built by Ottoman Empire, which is a Muslim empire, but the civilization being brought by Roman Empire. So from there, and I see like, okay, there's two big empire. One is Christianity because back then they war with religion and stuff, but they're still building up the civilization. So from there, I was like, yeah, why not just live together? Why we need to have this all the border? The segregation. Like, yeah, Muslim you cannot chill with a Christian. It should be all live together because back then it was like that because back then there's no like countries and everything. It's just an empire, big empire, and then they just can travel everywhere. But now since all this restriction, because for me I do have some Islamophobic experience because when I travel, because my name is Muhammad, so when I travel and I also have beard and stuff, so when I travel and they see my name is Muhammad, okay, you need to go aside, we need to check you and everything every single time, bro. And I'm thinking like, yeah, but is is it because my name is Muhammad? Because my face doesn't really look uh, Arabic,
right.
and then they want to check, and I was like, okay, check it, and then I'm thinking like, yeah, how are we gonna like change this perspective? Like, yeah, being a judgmental to people based on religion or appearance and stuff. So when I travel and I see, of course, not every country give me the experience, but it's very interesting to see people uh, when people know about it, they try to change the perspective. For example, like for me myself, like my friend uh, thought like I'm not Muslim, so when I say that I'm a Muslim, they they kind of like they support in a way, but at the same time they also want to know more about it. So for example, like okay, like Baim, why in Muslim you need to cover your hair and stuff? They're just asking random question, which I think for them they just want to know and they're just being curious, you know. And for me, I like it because when they ask me question, I automatically need to study about it, and also I kind of get like a knowledge about it. So for me, it's kind of like it makes me think like religion. I would say the message are the same. It's just a different interpretation, but of course, like I said just now, back then we can live everyone at once, you know, like everyone together. But nowadays, everything with segregation, and I think that need to change. I think because I think we shouldn't judge people by appearance, religion, or nationality. If I'm right, you know.
I
but
love that.
but that's my personal experience when I travel, because for me it's kind of like when I travel, I don't see as like only the place, because for me, I study culture. So for me, that perspective, I kind of need to understand because I'm a student of communication. So I kind of need to know like who I'm talking to. So let's say if I'm talking to some this particular culture, I kind of need to talk in their own way, you know. So I cannot just bursting out like, oh yeah, I know this, I know that, you know. So from there, I learn how they communicate, how they try to think, how they perceive the religion in the different perspective, and if I conclude everything, the message is almost the same. It's all about peace. It's all about living together. It's all about like being nice to each other. You know, do good to each other. Just the good stuff. You know. So after like I know that, I literally not there's no judgment for me to anyone, you know, because for me it's kind of like yeah, everyone's the same. As long you're good to me, I do good to you. Yeah, and that's my personal experience. If I yeah, and also I met a lot of people from how to say like the people that revert, I would say, the people that also become a Muslim from not Muslim, you know, and my friend is one of it. And it's very interesting because they like she became a Muslim based on the Palestinian and the Jewish conflicts. And it's not about like friends and everything. And and I asked her, you know, like how you got into this, you know, like how do you have an interest? Because and then she said like the same thing like I said, like back then Palestinian and Jewish they're living together and stuff, and now like everyone becoming like I don't know, like very selfish or something, you know. They just want their own. You do you, I do I don't care about you, you don't care about me, something like that, you know. So when I know that, and I was like, oh okay, this girl has a very uh, extensive view on this particular topics. And then I try to understand like how come you can get this uh, very passionate feelings, because for me it's kind of like yeah, I know about all these issues, but for me I don't get into it, you know, like not very like, because she's really like fighting, go to the diplomat and everything, you know, try to fight the human right for Palestinian and stuff. So I kind of see myself like, yeah, I'm a Muslim, but she's doing more than me. You get what I mean, you know? So I was like, yeah, what should I do? You know, what can I do for the people? So that's where I started to jump into the NFT, you know, and that's where I kind of like meet more people like you, for example, you know, from different perspectives. Because for me, it's kind of I love hanging out with the people that not in my religion, I would say, because for me it's kind of I want to see the bigger perspective of world in general, you know, not only a specific perspective. So that's why I really like to go to the church somehow, you know, like in Europe I went to church, just want to learn about Christianity, for example, and I went to synagogue just to learn about Jewish like a prayers and everything ritual, you know, because for me I don't want to be biased, you know. I don't want to, because I was born Muslim, and And for me, I don't want to blindly follow the religion. If I want to follow the religion, I want to make it like properly. So I need to also learn about the religion to get my religion straight. So that I kind of get the connecting dots. So when I travel, actually, I kind of like find the connected dots, because like I said, I met like so many people. And also one that I went to one Buddha temple in Netherlands. It was really interesting experience because I went to, it's kind of like a forest. It's like a big field and there's one small forest and I don't see any temple inside. And then my friend said, like, yeah, let's go there and chill. And I was like, yeah, what is it over there, And then we went there and suddenly I saw like like very big temple, is in the middle of North Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken. And that, I think Buddhism, and that Buddhism is from Tibetan Buddhism, I think. So, and then I met like the monk, and then he asked me like, "Oh yeah, where you from and everything." I was like, "Yeah, I'm from Malaysia, South Asia." And then I went there with 4 friends, and then I'm the only believer, and the rest is like atheists and agnostic, but they kind of like interested knowing all this religion. So I was like, yeah, let's go like a temple and just see like how it looks like, like what is the culture, what's the ritual and stuff. And then when I went, I met the monk, and the monk is like the Dutchman, and the workers are more like Tibetan monk, And it's very interesting because yeah, I'm in a Western, like very European, like a very white place, and then suddenly I saw like this, and I was like, oh, okay, that's very interesting. What is the special about this place, And then he mentioned about something with energy, like the place is kind of like energy because for us we do have like a place in Mecca, like the place that we worship. And over there also they have kind of like a similar place, they say like they have like the energy power, and then they do exactly the same like we did, like the Muslim did, like going around, and then just recite some mantra or like recitation. And then the the thing that makes me really interesting is the love. Like we want to mention something about love, right, just now, but the love that they mention is very interesting because the love of all life, if I'm not mistaken. Because one time when we walk and we kind of almost want to step on the end, like group of end of walking, and then he said to me like, okay, stop. I said, well, why? Why do we need to stop? Yeah, yeah, because the end kind of like crossing the road. We cannot step on the end because you're Muslim, right? In your religion, they have one story about Sulaiman because the Sulaiman have the same story because you can talk to animals, So uh, it
What is
kind of
this?
like,
Tell me the
sorry,
story. Tell me the
sorry.
story. Suleiman? Suleiman? What's the story?
Sulaiman. So like Solomon, if in English, because he can in my religion I believe that the prophet have like can have had the blessing that can talk to uh, animals, animals and animals and usually animals. So like when they march, like when they want to march to go to other country or to conquer, they kind of need to go through all this forest and everything, right? So one time when he can talk to the how to say the animals, he want to bring all the animals to some other parts, so when he walk, and then he's the one who's kind of like say to the like the other animals, say like, okay, you need to stop because there's some, I think some animals are still left behind or something like that, I'm not really sure the story, but it's more
You don't know the
no,
story.
not know the story, but I know really remember the story. That's the right way to say it, because what I know, the same thing that I know is kind of like when they want to step on the ant, the prophet says stop, don't step on the ant because the ant also have like family and everything, It's basically I want to focus on the loving part, It's not, it's more on the not killing all human, all animal, all life, if I right. And then when I told the story, no, he actually told me the story. He said like, yeah, you're from Muslim, right? Do you remember the Solomon story, the one that he asked like the army that don't step on the ant? It's basically the same. We believe the same kind of value, And then I was like, oh, okay. So we went into the temple. So the temple, there's like I think like every layer there. I think they have like so many layers, and every layer they have like a monk statue, kind of, monk statue, and goes up and up. And I asked the monk like, what is this what is symbolized of, because and then he said like some similar with prophet, I would say, like more on the messenger. He said like, yeah, this one give a message, like time by time, like different era, different years and everything. I was like, oh, okay, it's interesting. And then he mentioned about our prophet. That's the for me, it's kind of like, it's very interesting, because suddenly he said like, yeah, actually, we also do follow Muhammad's teaching, more on the moral side, like talk good, like behave well, all the moral stuff. And for me, it's kind of, oh, okay, other religion also take like our prophet's teaching. It's very interesting. And I thought only Buddhism, and then I went to one temple in the Hinduism, so tell the same thing. And for me, then when I see all of this, and I just conclude in my personal experience, like basically all the religion, they just want to do good. It's just the people in that religion do the art, the opposite. So yeah, and it's very interesting to see like these people are just, like I said, blindly follow. They don't really learn about it. They don't really experience it. They just follow whatever they've been asked to, and I think that's very not not good, because you kind of need to see as a bigger perspective. You need to know everything before you give any comments or any.
Are your parents the same way? Do they feel the same way, or are they more conservative?
They're more conservative, but when I explain my thoughts and my perspective, and they kind of like agree with it, because they also have that experience before. But since they live in Malaysia, like I said, all the surrounding are Muslim and everything, so that views, they don't really get it that much. But for me, since I travel, right, so I kind of be in the different environment. So yeah, this is yeah, I think like our like my parents are not really like saying anything about it. They just say like, yeah, as long you know what you're doing, it's all good.
Got it. Got it. Got it. And then for the education portion, I just wanted to ask, what type of person were you in high school?
In my high school, what type of person? Yeah, I would say I active in high school in the curriculum. I started to join all these like group singing, all this debating and stuff. But like I said, like back then in school, I didn't get. Let's put it like this. Back then when I was school, I active on the curriculum that much, and I don't study that much. And then I fail, and then that's where I kind of like, oh, okay, only do curriculum is not enough. I need to kind of like busting out my brains and shit. So I went to like the like I said, pre-university. So from pre-university makes me change my view on education. It makes me really serious on education, because bro, I failed like the big exam before I flew to Netherlands. So when I fail, and I kind of like, fuck, I cannot go directly to uni. I kind of need to take pre-uni. So from then, it opens my eyes to value the education. They say like, yeah, if I want to go further, I kind of need to busting up my education. So I start to study, and I start to kind of like taking the exams again. I kind of take very extensive course, especially in English, because back then I'm not really good in English. I cannot talk English. It's very minimum. And then I'm thinking, okay, I want to go to abroad, because my plan was going to Australia because my brother is like a permanent resident there. And then I thought if I go to abroad, I will go to Australia. And then suddenly my brother said to me like, okay, why not go to the Netherlands? You know, because the education over there is more precise and everything. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. I just want to study and I want to see different views. You know, different people. And then
I think your brother just didn't want you to be there.
I also think so though, because you always say to me like, yeah, just go up from Malaysia. I mean, if you work there, then you can always come in. I was like, yeah, but you can find money everywhere. You know, it doesn't really mean in Europe. You know, like here also I can find money if I want to. So when I went to Netherlands, that's where I kind of value the education since I met like so many genius people like from across I think Southeast Asia and also Eastern Europe, and but they're all from a rich family and I'm not. So for me it's kind of like I own I loan the money from my brother, not from the bank. So for me, it's kind of like fuck. I need to pay for by my own. Basically, you know, I don't get any scholarship. I mean, I do get scholarship, but half scholarship. So from there, when I went to Netherlands, it makes me think like, okay, if I don't succeed there, I'm gonna pay more and I'm gonna get fucked up, you know, because if I differ or if I fail, I need to pay more. So and then my brother gives me one because my brother he's an accountant and he's very strict about money, and and then one day I feel like I think 2 semester, and then he suddenly doesn't want to pay my tuition fees, and he said like, yeah, if you want to uh, if you want me to give the money for the tuition fees, I want you to do one thing. And I was like, what is it? Formal letter. I want you to give me formal letter why you want this and why you should have this and why you want to make sure everything is correctly done, And then I was like, yo, but you're my brother though. Like, just talk like this and then we can just make it up,
Just
not
give me
like
the money. Just give me the money.
like not all this formal shit, And I was like, oh, okay. But for me it makes sense because maybe I fucked it up before. So, and then for me it's like, okay, it makes sense that he asked me to do this. And then I make it, okay, I do the formal letter, and that time I remember like 2 months he didn't give me money. So I kind of need to like work in the kitchen and everything. And but I really love it because after a while, after I'm doing that, it makes me think like, oh, okay, back then I don't really appreciate the money, the topic, also the topic that I want to talk about later, the money. But at the same time, how I'm going to value my money, because yeah, the study is not cheap. Study abroad is expensive. So if I keep maxing up, I'm gonna pay more and more and more. So for me, it's kind of like fuck. I need to study more and I need to pay more. And fuck that shit. I'm like 7 years of studying for me is enough. At least I want to take a break. And then after that, after I got give the formal letter to my brother and everything, and my brother said this to me. He said like, it's not like I really need or wants that money. It's just I want you to value the education and money, and that really changed me because to be honest, before this, I just thought like, oh yeah, everyone can pay, my parents or my family can pay me the education. I don't really think about, I don't have to think about it that much, to pay and everything. But when I live in Netherlands, everything I need to pay by myself. So that's where I learned the money management. So the money management, I think that's where the topics we're gonna talk about the money management. So when I have this is all connected. So my brother, because he's an accountant, he just want to make sure everything is all aligned together. So he want to make sure, okay, education good, your money management good, and you can live everywhere you want, whenever, wherever you want. And then he said to me like, this education it doesn't mean you need to do only on the academic side. He wants me to understand the street learning experience. If I remember correctly, he mentioned something about street learning, about like engaging with people, because I study communication and cultural. So when I study that, I kind of need to communicate with people by their own culture, by their own communication. I cannot just becoming too direct to Malaysian people. They're becoming so offended and stuff. So something like that. So the for me,
What do you
when
mean by that? What do you mean by that? If you're
by
too
what
if you're too direct, the Malaysians get
okay
offended.
okay, this is what I study and what I conclude from my study, because Malaysia, we are like high context communication. So most of the Malaysian try to talk without really giving a meaning they kind of like not too direct. So for example, like I want to say your idea is stupid. I don't say your idea is stupid. I say like, oh yeah, your idea is not that good, maybe you can try it in a different way, like this. But in the Netherlands, you can just say, yeah, your idea is stupid, and not and people are accepting it. But here, people are not. Sometimes people get offended. So that's what I meant by the communication context. So when I learned that, I kind of know like, oh, okay, maybe some of the country you cannot be too direct, and some of country you can be direct. So based on what people's background. So from there, I kind of understand like, okay, we cannot just say anything to people because it might offend people. For example, I got one time I just say like, yo, bro, how's it going? How is it doing? And that guy is not a bro, it's a chick. And then suddenly she became like, oh yeah, why you need you need to suddenly become so angry. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't mean no harm. I thought, because yeah, you just look like a bro, I just thought you're a bro. So from there it makes me think, oh, okay, so next time I cannot just blindly say some things to people. I kind of need to understand, like, yeah, where he coming from, which country or anything like that, because certain things are sensitive to people. For example, like, I do have a Jewish friend. Uh, it's a sensitive question if we ask something about Palestinian and all that. But also he said like, yeah, it's also good to discuss, because otherwise he doesn't know the perspective of, let's say, Palestinians or outside perspective. And for me, I always think, yeah, discussion. You meet them, you see them, you know them, then you will know the perspective. But then you cannot just conclude things as a whole, or as an individual that done that, you conclude it as a whole. That's, I think, are wrong, I think.
I love that.
Yeah.
One question. What? Moving on to money, real quick. What
Ah,
is money?
what is money? For me, back then, I used to think money is everything back then. It's kind of like, yeah, I can buy. For me, yeah, that my definition of money is like, yeah, everything. Like, I can buy like with happiness. For me, I do believe that. Like back then, I do believe like, yeah,
How
money
old
can buy
were
happiness.
you when you believed it?
Sorry.
How old did you believe this?
18 before I went to the Netherlands, and then after I flew to the Netherlands, yeah, after I met people and everything, it makes me think like, yeah, it's actually money doesn't make me happy, because back then I earn good, I have like good opportunity there, but I don't feel happy. And for me, it's kind of like, yo, why is this? But I thought like money can buy happiness, right? Like something like that. I don't feel happy. But what I do feel happy when I start to do charity, giving out to people, helping homeless people over there. It makes me more human. It makes me want to understand more about people's. I wouldn't say problem, but people's experience, because I met so many homeless people in the Netherlands. They are from a very good background. For example, a doctor, like a nurse and everything, engineer, but they are refugee. They are from Syria. They cannot get the same job here in the Netherlands. So I'm thinking like, oh yeah, man, that's pretty fucked up, because they do have all the knowledge they do have, but they don't have the opportunity. So since then, I don't really see as money as like everything, you know. I see how you manage the money is everything. How you use your money is everything. For example, if you do it to good, you get good things. You know, if you help people, people gonna help you anyway. For me, it's kind of like I do charity and stuff. I don't ask for a return, but I always get something written in the different form. You know, for example, like okay, I got like good opportunity, I get more connection, and from that more connection, I get more like teachers and everything. So for me, I like that because it makes me meeting new people from different perspective and also from the expert, and makes me understand more like yeah about the money value. And for me, see I don't see the money as a very grand thing. I see it as a part of life. It's like I kind of need it, but if I don't have it, I can find it in a different form. If you get what I mean, you know?
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. What are top two pieces of money advice you have for the kids?
Investing and savings. I would say savings. I would say savings though, because
How do you save? How do you save when you were
for me
17?
it's kind of like I do. How am I saving my money? I always kind
When
of
you
like.
were 17,
Sorry.
when you were 17, 16, 17, did you save
Yeah.
your money?
Yeah. Because my actually I got that from my family, because my family is kind of like they always ask me to save, you know, because like yeah, you never know in the future you're going to use that money or not. At first I don't really believe it. I thought like yeah, why you didn't use the money, you know. So one time when I study, I think after school, after 17, I think after 17, want to start to the pre-uni, right? That's where I kind of like know that okay, I kind of need money, you know, like I work like part time, going to job need money, you know, paying food needs money. So I'm thinking like oh, everything needs money. So how can I save it? So whenever I work or anything like that, I always like kind of like divide it to four places, kind of. I always divide it to four, and one is just want to spend, and two bank I always like really keep it, and another one is just like pay monthly commitment, you know, like house and stuff. So from there I start saving because my I remember my late father said to me like saving is actually makes people kind of like at least not how to say it like not in the safe zone but more on the safe feeling, I would say, you know. For example, like if you don't have money, I mean for me it's kind of I like to uh, pay something without thinking about my bank account, you know, because for me it's kind of if I think about my bank account, I was like oh okay, I need to be stingy, I need to not spend on this on that, and I don't like that. For me I just want to just spend as long it's enough, you know. Doesn't mean a lot, as long it's enough. So that's why that's why when I get any like money or anything, I just divide it to like four bank account, and then I just try to play around with all those four bank account. But mostly two, I will just save it without touching it, and that's kind of like for future. And another two is one for like accommodation and everything, and more on the personal consumption. And that's the way I do it. I don't know about other people. About you, probably. How do you do it?
How do I what?
Save,
Say,
save or like yeah.
yeah. I just buy a house. You know,
Mm.
put it into
Yeah, all the you just buy the liability and stuff. Assets, you mean?
yeah, yeah. I mean, whatever. I try to just live off 20% of whatever I make. If that means sleep on the floor or whatever, it's
Mm. Yeah,
20,
same. Yeah.
and then 80% will go to savings, and then if I can buy property, then I just go buy the property.
But do you always buy like a property at like your home country, or you just buy in the random
Yeah, only in
property?
America. Only in
Oh.
America. Yeah,
And
yeah,
how's the America property kind of like there? Is it like a because I heard like it's very expensive or something, right, for property there, or no?
it depends. So we have a few programs where so we have like a FHA program where
Mm.
if you've never bought a house before, you can the government you only have to put down 2%.
Yeah.
Then the government will give you the house.
Yeah, same. I think same like here
Yeah,
also. Yeah.
yeah. What moving on to kind of like love, what was your what's your relationship with your parents like growing up? Your mom, your dad, your brother?
Oh, uh, for my family, I would say, yeah, I'm very close to my mom. I do have a broken family back then. My parents separated when I think I was 18. I think, so that's why I thought like that's where I told you like I start to experience like appreciate all this, money, education and stuff because I do have this background, broken family problem. So from there, uh, actually my relationship with my parents are very nice, very good. It's just I regret one thing because when I went to the Netherlands, I didn't have time to meet my father before I went there. And then the first introduction day, my father passed away. And that moment made me think like, fuck, am I doing the right thing or not? Because I do start go abroad, but at the same time, I don't say anything to him. Like I do say something, but not personally like really meet him. And then now he's gone, and I was like, yeah, what should I do? And I had like a depression moment, and I remember my brother said to me like, yeah, you are there because you imagine like I never been to any country before, for example, like living there, and then now I try to live and I have this like the this funeral and everything makes me think like, fuck, can I do it or not, like. And then my brother said this to me. He said like, yeah, you already make a big step. You're trying to survive in a different country. Why not you finish it? You already start your study. Why not you finish your study? And if you want to see him in if you want to see him in Malaysia, you can always come, because if you come now, you cannot see him anymore. So it doesn't make any sense. But it's better for you to just finish your study, make him proud, and you can come back and visit him. I think that's much more, much better choices. And I'm thinking like, yeah, true. I don't want to be there like depressed and shit, because I just arrived in Netherlands, like really 1 month, 2 months, and then I was like, yeah, I don't want to be depressed. Like it's a free country, it's a good country, I need to like really, like enjoy, like. And then after that, okay, I enjoyed everything, and then yeah, um, that's where I kind of like close to my family, because I close to my brother, because my brothers that all my brothers are abroad, so I don't have the time to talk to them usually like this, but not per se like meeting up and stuff. So when I'm when I'm there, I kind of have a relationship with like the the in-laws of my brother, because my brother married a Dutch Indonesian. That's also the reason why I'm in the Netherlands. So from that, I kind of try to understand like a family side of the Dutch. The I do have like a father figure over there and everything. The more value, the loving part. So, but at the same time, I close to my mom. So my mom asked me like, how am I doing over there since my father passed away. It's very, I would say, depressed moment for 6 months, or no, oh yeah, 6 months, because it's also affected my studies and everything. But one day I kind of say to myself like, yeah, if this gonna go like this, I'm not gonna be succeed, I'm not gonna be finish my study and stuff. So I remember my late dad used to tell me this, like, whatever I do, there's two things that I need to think about. Be kind to people, whatever people that you met, and don't judge them. And also, the last one I remember when he said to me like, yeah, whatever study that I do, just finish it. I don't care what study you want to do, just finish it. And so those three rem- makes me kind of like uh, has inspired me to like really going through the experience in the Netherlands, because yeah, like I said, I'm not from a very rich family and everything, so everything there like difficult, you know. Currently I need to work for paying my tuition fees, I need to work for paying all the accommodation. I don't get money from my parents or from my brother. My brother only helped me only for the tuition fees, but the rest I pay myself. So it's very different from other people that usually study abroad. Usually people study abroad, they have like a family, you know, family stability. And for me, I don't have that. So when I don't have that, it makes me think like, oh, okay, I need to do better than other people. You know, I need to really go for it. You know, so that's where I kind of like stepping out from my comfort zone, meeting new people. I met like very professional people from TEDx. You know, I organized that TEDx in the Netherlands, and from organizing TEDx, I met so many young professional that really striving me over to, you know, to become better person. And from there, it makes me think like, oh, actually, I can overcome this. You know, all this depression moment and everything. Because back then, to be honest, I think that I cannot survive it. I think like, yeah, fuck this. You know, I'm just gonna go back. Whatever happens, happens. You know. But after meeting people and everything, it makes me want to know more about the world and want to become more acceptance on the society and everything, the
What would you
community.
What
Yeah.
would you say to the kids who who just lost their father? What would you what do they have to do? What if there's
Okay. I would say for a kid that who just lost a father, because for me, I do believe in my experience, I do believe there's a three father. So one father is like a role model father. One father is for education father, like people that provide education, and one more father is like a moral father. So for me, I don't have three father. You know, I kind of like look it at as a role model. It's a father figure. You know, not per se as a father, like more on the father figure. So because for me, I don't have like I lost my father. So but at the same time, I want that how to say, I want that value, you know, like the father figure value. So how am I going to do it? So that's where I started to study with like you know, like I said, like study. I start to researching, and that's where I start to. For me, I will go for the moral teacher, because for me I'm a Muslim, right? So I just go one teacher from religious teacher and one from academic teacher, because I don't want to be like extremist view on one side, you know. So I just want to be balanced, you know. It's like I don't want to be something like extreme view, but for me, it's kind of like father figure is very important. So if you can find a father figure, it doesn't really matter who is the father figure, as long you think like, yeah, that guy can be father figure to me. Learn from the person, you know. And that's where I kind of like I get all these values from different people, because I met so many. I would say I met so many wise, experienced people in my life. So yeah, I would say try to find like a listener, the listener that can also uh, explain to you and also like guide you, not per se only like a father figure but also brother figure, you know. Like if you find like someone that you're really close to, it, that you can feel the bonding, yeah, just keep them and make sure like yeah, don't ever kind of like lose trust, I think, because I think trust is very important for this.
I love that. I love
The
that.
topic.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to end it here, but thanks for joining us. Do you have any last words or last pieces of advice for the kids that are listening right now?
Yes, I do have one thing. I would say like, if any life experience that make you down or make you doubt in certain things, uh, find the solution, because this for me, I believe every problem has solution. It's just the way you find it. You know, find the right people, you're gonna find the solution. That's why I said always talk to people, understand people, listen to people. Sometimes we want to be listened, but we don't listen to people, and that's I think the biggest problem on the community, because we tend to be more selfish in terms of our perspective and view. So always uh, be kind to people and always try to understand from people perspective before you make a conclusion, I would say.
Love that. I love that. Where can people find you if they want to reach out?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter. Just search Baimche, Baim with TJE. So
Got
everything is on Twitter, Instagram, and also, oh yeah, I don't talk about something with. Uh, yeah, never mind. Forget about that. The NFT community. I will want to talk about that
You
also,
can talk
but
about it here. You can talk about it here. I'll just cut
uh,
it. And you. No worries.
okay,
Go.
yeah, because and also I would like to tell people, like, if you learn new stuff, for example, like the new technology, the NFT and everything, keep learning, because I think that's the future, and I think the finance system in the world is going to change a lot with this technology. And if you have any, like, let's say, any question or anything that related to this topic, of course you can find online, but you can also ask me personally. And Bob, I think you're also very experienced, very knowledgeable about this. So I just want to say to everyone, be kind, learn every day, and try to talk nicely to people. And I think that's the thing that people forget, talking nicely. Usually people just very selfish on their when they're talking. So yeah, I think that's from me.
I love it. I love it. All right, bye. Thank you for joining us
All right.
today.
Thank you,
Uh,
Bob. If anything, just let me know. And
okay.
I'm going to talk to you soon. Yeah. All right.
Appreciate it.